better amenities for all of us in Imperial Beach. So the idea of reaching a balance between new development and benefiting existing residents is really critical for us. I understand this. In my work at the university, one of the things that I've done is brought retail development to the university in a way that is trying to create a lively environment, but not overkill in terms of retail. We need to do the same kind of thing here. We need to think of a village environment where everybody can enjoy the environment and the developers provide benefits to our community as part of their projects.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes.
Sorry.
How do you balance commercial development with small town character?
Okay, we've already said quite a bit about this. We're going to need to find new avenues. I mean, the small town character is here already. We just need to improve on it. One of the things that I've got a big question about, I know it used to draw a lot of people to IB, was the fishing boats out on the pier. I don't know what happened to those. I know they started to do it at one time, and then all of a sudden it disappeared before it even got started. I don't know how many of you are fishermen out here. I see mostly women, but not that women don't fish, but I thought it was a big draw to Imperial Beach, and I worked all around the county, and guys talked about Imperial Beach fishing boats all the time, and they're gone. And a lot of that draw that we're talking about, that we want to come in and fish and then get out, is not here anymore. And I think that's something we need to look into. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Welsh.
Hi. I'm really lucky to be really close to some of the business owners in Imperial Beach. And the thing that really struck me when I went to this zoning review and got the packet of all the stuff was that it wasn't the business owners that were spearheading this development and this, how do we unrestrain them. I am a small business owner. My husband and I own Mueller College of Holistic Studies. It's been there 36 years. And the reason that we survive and do well in this hard environment is because we do our job really well. You give quality. Katie survives at Katie's Cafe because she gives quality. You bring in people, you unrestrain them, and you let them do what they do, and you let them do it really well. The people say that they don't want to come to Imperial Beach to have business because it's unbusiness friendly. And that's really what we have to stop.
Thank you. Mr. Bibby.
Mr. Fisher, thank you for that free advertising. I appreciate that. I am for the small business, and I've spoken out earlier that I have a lot of people that come to Imperial Beach that visit, and a lot of times they just come by to say hi because we build this bond, this friendship, because they like the friendliness that IB has on the beach. I mean, there are a lot of good people here. As far as fishing, that was a big thing. I see a lot of fishermen out there, and I remember a big thing for us is every time that boat came in at noon and at 6, God, we were running over there to see what they caught every day. That was like a big thing growing up in IB, is seeing what that boat brought in. That'd be great to get that fishing boat back, but I understand there's some tough issues and insurance problems. But like I said, I like to see Palm Avenue be the commercial zone, like we're like two cities. Keep the commercial zone on Palm, since it is a main thoroughway, but keep the beach a small business atmosphere where people can come and feel like they're not visiting another town, they're home. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Bilbred.
Yeah, when we talk about this issue, everybody really gets up in arms about the development, and the residential pays for the commercial down below. So in order to have one, you bring in the developers to develop the lot. You really need to have the commercial. Now listening to the citizens and really doing what the city council's already been doing, really listening to the city and cutting down on it, basically make it as minimum as possible to pay for the building itself to bring those developers in. That's basically the only way that we can I really don't think that we'll ever lose our small town feel. The citizens of Imperial Beach will speak up way too much, so I don't think we have to really worry about that too much.
Thank you. Mr. Brown will lead the next question. Explain how your career experience will translate into an asset on the City Council or the Mayor.
Well, as you know, I'm a graduate of the Job Corps program, and being a graduate, they told me to go find a job, and so I went up to HR and went to go apply, and I said, hire me. And so working with people in different ways and dealing with different attitudes and personalities, such as staff and students, that definitely will put me on the up and up on City Council when folks approach me and ask me questions. By being able to go out, by me going out to the community, being the president of the Kiwanis Club and having the skills to go out and speak in front of people and do networking, that also will put me on the up and up and working on the City Council too as well.
Thank you. Mr. Fisher.
I think Mike kind of likes the microphone. As far as my experience in life, I'm sure many of you have watched the show Hell's Kitchen or any of the cooking shows. As a chef, I've experienced that trench of work. I imagine that the City Council meetings and some of the closed meetings are probably about the same. So I really feel that I have what it takes. I have a lot of grit. Being the father of 5 children also brings a little bit of balance into my life. And then growing up here in Imperial Beach and being a surfer is really kind of the round thing for me, because it gives me all different aspects of what the city needs, from being tough on some aspects to allowing growth, to hearing, to listening, to working under pressure, and to understanding where the residents come from.
Thank you. Mr. Janney?
I started when I came out to run for the council the first time 8 years ago. I'd been going to city council meetings numerous times before that. And in 4 years as a council member, I was learning every day in every meeting. And in 4 years as mayor, I've learned even more, and I will continue to learn. It's a job that's actually people don't really appreciate too much. Like I said earlier, it's actually a full-time job, a part-time pay, if even that. The real thing is dedication to doing it. I think I've proven myself very well over the last 8 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. O'Neill?
After college, I've spent the last 16 years in sales and marketing. What I can do to bring that experience, how it'll be an asset to the City Council is I know how to sell. I'm a great salesman. I think I can sell IV's uniqueness without getting rid of the integrity and the charm and the values of this city. We have to market this city as being the place that people want to come, businesses want to come, because this is where it's happening. And like I said, when it comes to sales, it's about relationships. You can't do business unless you make yourself a friend. And that's what I promise to be to the citizens of Imperial Beach. They're a friend, they're confidant, and somebody that'll listen.
Thank you. Mr. Spriggs?
I think the work that I have been doing and have done in the past in this community is first and foremost what will enable me to hit the ground running if elected to the City Council. Work on the Ecotourism Committee, which allowed me to look at economic studies as to how the city could grow in a sustainable way by bringing in more tourists, ecotourists. Working on the Tidelands Advisory Committee and ways we can protect our environment in terms of various kinds of development plans. And in the last 10 years at the university, working as the senior budget person for student affairs, managing a budget of $70 million through good times and bad times and budget cuts, etc., and a staff of about 2,000 full and part-time people. This gives me the ability, I think, to understand our problems and work with them and make lemonade out of lemons. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Taylor?
That doesn't sound like there's any idea about our problems.
coming from the architectural field, I worked for a small company that did a lot of big projects. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with what a conditional use permit is, but they can get pretty radical and pretty hairy. I've got a lot of experience in cause and effect and details on these sorts of things. Whenever you make a decision on something, you have to really look over how it's going to affect everything, and it's not as easy as it sounds. What I see a lot of times is people make decisions because it sounded good and it looked good at the time, but then when things got going, you find out, well, that wasn't such a good decision after all because nobody really researched it. I bring this to the table. I can review all this stuff, and I'm really detail oriented, and not much gets by me.
Thank you. Ms. Welsh.
Well, I have experience with this community. I did help build the playground at Imperial Beach Elementary with the help of the children in the community. I also am lucky enough to have a college that is doing well in San Diego, where I believe that educating people and then empowering people and giving them the tools to be able to empower themselves makes the community. And so I'm very, very excited about being able to help people come together. The definition of mayor to me is leader among equals. And there's an English a legal maxim that says an equal has no power over an equal. So I'm really interested in people following because they want to, not because they're forced to.
Thank you. Mr.